Flosstube. Welcome to my very first video. My name is Emma. I go by Emily Illustrates over here on YouTube and on Twitch, where I just so happen to live stream 3 days a week. I stream every Tuesday, Wednesday and Thursday from 3:30 PM BST, which is British Standard Time here in the UK, until 6:30 PM on Tuesdays and Wednesdays, and on Thursdays I stream till 7:30 PM. And over the past few months I've been working on my projects over on my Twitch channel. I did do a live WIP Parade in February, so we're just going to go over everything I've done since then. Starting with all my full coverage projects, because in February I decided to do full coverage February. So I picked all my HADEs, which are Heaven and Earth designs, and I worked on them until I made a percent. And that was a plan I have, and I'll explain a bit more as we go through. But to kick us off, we're going to start with the 10th, which is art by Mandy, and I always butcher her surname and I'm so sorry. I think it's Manzino? Apologies. But in the editing process, I will insert a picture here of where that was last time, and here is where it is now. So I am stitching this on a piece of 28 count, 1/1 full cross. I did start doing this one in the, what's it called? Royal Rose. But I decided diagonal method, because late last year I started to use the diagonal method and I actually love it. So if I just fold it in half, so I actually converted. I was this far along when I decided, nope, I'm gonna diagonal method. So this is what I got done. So in February, I worked on this for a total of 3 days, bringing it from 0.78% to 1%. And that was a total of 1,342 total stitches in this small section. And then for needle minders, I have, this is actually my own needle minder. It's my own artwork. And then this one I got off an Etsy, which I can't remember right now. Apologies. But yes, that's our very first one. On to our next one, which is Novu Mermaid Air. Again, by Heaven and Earth Designs. This is a retired piece now. You can get this with Pain-Free Crafts. But, hang on. This is where I got to. So this one, hang on, let's do stats first. So, I worked on this for a total of 4 days in February. And I took it from, I can't even read my own handwriting, 1.96% to 3.4%, as in 3.40, so 3.40. This had a total of 1,563 total stitches put in during that time, and this one I was going to work on in the diagonal. You can actually see where I've parked this white strand. And I noticed very quickly, you can see I even drew. Oh, this is also on a 25 count piece of even weave. 1/1 full cross. This was just when I was starting to use 25 count 1/1. I do have a project we'll go over in a bit that was stitched 2/1 on 25, and I've scrapped it and I've restarted it. So we'll get into that when I get to that one. But yeah, so this is 25 count, and as you can see, I was doing the grid. This is actually as wide as the piece is at the top. It does actually widen out as it goes down. This is why I've got this grid. It's not a very good grid, but it works. But yeah, so this is what I was working on in February. This was my second. I was spinning a wheel every time I finished a percent. I was spinning a wheel to pick the next, and this was the next one. And I actually did, again, in editing, there would have been a picture before you see this. But I did all this outline. One of the days I worked on this, I did reach over 1,000 stitches, which did really help. And doing this outline has really helped, because like 90% of this. I would also have a picture somewhere showing what it'll look like when it's done, like the mock-up. But all this bit, I'm pretty sure it's all of this is this white. So I was like, let's do the outline first. Across, because I was doing it in, so with this one I'm going to do it in sets of pages. So I think this is the first 3 pages, because this is a page, this would be a page, and this is a page. And then I'm filling it in across these 3. This one I did go down, but this is when I was literally just starting this. And then this is where I'm up to. I've nearly finished. I was getting really bored of doing this, so as soon as I got to 3.4%, I was like, I'm done. I was like, I've overachieved my goal. I was like, I'm done with this. This border was getting on my nerves because it was so much confetti. Because after the first couple of colours, it was really nice. And then after, I was like, done. Goodbye. So that's this one. So our next project is in a scroll frame. Well, not a scroll frame, a Q-snap. Because I want to keep working on this one eventually. So it's in here ready. But this is Frogs Kissing, artwork by Jodie Bergsma, charted again by Heaven and Earth Designs. This I worked on for 3 days during February. And again, this gridding is atrocious, don't look at it. This is also a project I actually did this much. Though again, pictures to show what I'm talking about. But there was again, this is another project I started doing the Royal Rose method with, and then very quickly scrapped. But yes, so I'm now doing the diagonal across the page, so I think this is the first page. I do have a line somewhere, but where I've put them, and this is also not gridded. So this was actually the first piece of fabric I bought that was not gridded, like pre-gridded. I gridded this myself, which is why it looks like a mess. And I think where these diagonal lines are is the first page. I could be wrong. But again, 28 count 1/1 full cross, if I haven't said that already, and if I have, apologies. And the way I like to do my parking, just real quick, so this is all worked threads, so these are all my working threads, and these are the next diagonal threads. So as I'm going through a diagonal, I also messed up because I've got this here. I think this is the last part of the non-diagonal. Excuse me. So this is where I think my Royal Rose ended here. So I'm now coming down, so I've got to fill in this gap because there were some stitches, and this is all white. Most of this page is white, which is really nice, but I really love this piece. It was my very first frog full coverage, and we'll have another one to show later. So I'll put this to the side. Oh wait, stats. I worked on this for a total of 3 days, bringing it from 0.64% to 1.15%, and I had a total of 1,086 stitches in the month of February. I also, at the end, will go through every how many total stitches I did throughout the months. And then our second to last full coverage. This was not worked on in February. I started this one in March. This was the restart. This is the Possibilities Evolution Rainbow. Artwork by... can't remember their actual name, but they used to go by Walking Melons with 3 A's at the end. I'm also working this one on 28 count 1/1 full cross. And I have this parked here because it has nowhere else to go. These are the next diagonal, and this is what I have left of this one. This is actually the restart. So when I first started this, I was stitching at 25 count 2/1. So I was using 2 strands over 1, and it was very thick. I actually had the first 2 pages completely done, and I had started on the third, and I was getting really annoyed with it. It was very in confetti, in this sort of page where this is 90% 310. Amazing. But in these sorts of areas, if I bring it up, you might be able to see it a bit better. So in that sort of an area, and there, right there, it was very thick. And then as I got further along and I got to it's Vaporeon's face I was just done, so I scrapped it and I was like, I'll restart that in the future. And this one I'm actually working on as part of like it's kind of a stitch along between me and a friend. Unfortunately, we did start it together, but she didn't have all the threads because she got the max colours version of this and I've got the regular. And she didn't have them all, so that's been put on hold for the time being. But I love this piece. I can't wait to work on this one some more. And this is also my artwork as a needle minder. This is actually an emote on my Twitch channel. It's a Rip It Stab. My OC is called Rip It. The other one we saw on the other needle minder, that's Leap. And then our final Haid for the time being, Melody of the Night, artwork by Leonid Afromov. And this is all I have done. I started this in July last year. And as you can see, this was actually one of the projects I started before I started my diagonal method. I actually stream progress myself working on this over on my Twitch channel every Thursday, which I call Haid's Day. This is a stream only project, so I can't touch this one off stream. Around this sort of time last year, I had a community goal for channel points, no money involved, but if we reached a set goal in a month, I would kit this up on stream and start it, and that's exactly what happened. I think the VODs are on this channel of me kitting it up. There was 3 VODs. It took 3 streams. And then I started it and very quickly was like, I'm having such a rough time with this. And then I started a new Haid, which was Sleeps with Butterflies by Margaret Morales. And I actually did the first page on that before I converted it to diagonals. And I've been loving it since. So this one, whenever I work on it, I try and finish a diagonal. So at the moment we're still working on this. And it's getting a bit confusing working down here because of the already there stitches, and when you're doing the diagonal it's much easier to do it on a fresh piece. But that is my last Haid to show you. I have many more, but I haven't worked on them all. So give me a minute. I'm just gonna pause the video whilst I put some of this away and then grab the next set. So BRB. Okay, I'm back, and I forgot to give stats for Melody of the Night. So I'm only going to give stats for working on it this year. So in between the months of February and March, I worked on it for a total of 3 days, which is 3 Thursdays. And I brought it from 0.4% to 0.55%, and about 600 stitches. So not a lot, but it's only worked on Thursdays for 4 hours. So it's very difficult, and it's also the only stream I've ever broken needle on. So I have the broken needle here, and this is a needle minder from Lumi Celine. But there it is. I snapped the eye off. I don't know how, but I did. So I still have it because I don't know what to do with it. I need to make a needle graveyard, I think. So I do have a finish to show you. I'll show you that now because it kind of slots in perfectly. So in February, a YouTuber called Caroline from Off the Grid Needle Arts, who also runs the YouTube channel Everto and the company Everto, did a Salentine's piece, which is a stitch along for Valentine's Day. They did one last year. I didn't take part, but I did take part in this year's. So we have Salentine's 2025, which is a collaboration between Everto, who sold the stuff, Leo, no, not Leo. They used to be called Leo and Roxy Flossco, but they're not anymore. It's just Roxy Flossco and Fabric, and Jacob from Modern Folk Embroidery. So this is my finish. This was started on Valentine's Day, I don't need to say 2025. It's very obvious it was started in 2025. It was started on Valentine's Day in February, and I finished it. When did I finish it? I have a spreadsheet where I keep all my information. I finished it on the 16th of March. And it only took me a total of 12 days to work on it. But this is on a piece of 40 count linen. I think it's called Arrowroot, the colourway. And I'm using all the called for Roxy floss. So this is it. How if I do this? And it's got, I haven't ironed it or washed it because I don't think you can wash this because it's hand dyed. But I haven't ironed it or framed it yet because I don't know what to do with it. And I want to do the last year's, maybe down here because I have plenty of fabric. Like, turn it this way and then have them framed together. I'm unsure. But that's my only finished, well, it's my only fully finished. Well, it's not an FFO. It's just finished. But, so the way my streaming schedule works is on Tuesday I work on diamond paintings because I have a big stash from Diamond Art Club. And it's the only way for me to work my way through them all. On Wednesdays, me and my community have a day called WIP Wednesday. And it's basically where I have a redeem. I need to say a command. It's a redeem on my channel. And when you redeem it, it takes you over to my wheel. I can actually show it to you real quick. It's my bingo board. So here's my WIP Go and my Sell Go board. So how it works is a viewer redeems it and then I say, hey, pick a number and a letter. But if they pick a G or an O, I need them to tell me which board because they're the same. But if they say, like, for instance, someone said P3, that's Steampunk Fox. So what I do is they don't know what it is until they tell me, and then I have a button I press and it reveals it. So at the moment we've had 4 things picked. I've only just started on the first of those because if I go back to here, yeah, I've been working on Animal Almanac. Now, if you saw my WIP Parade before this, you'll know my hatred for Ada. At this point, I shouldn't say hate. Hate's a very strong word. So this is Animal Almanac, artwork by Frosted Pumpkin. But yeah, I started this back in 2020, so I was kind of new to stitching. I'd only been stitching for about 3 or 4 years at this point, so Ada was still my only go-to fabric. And 2020 was probably for many people the year of trying new things. And I decided that year to try even weaves and linens, and I've never gone back to Ada. So this is Animal Almanac. And if you saw the WIP Parade, you'll notice that all the borders done. Again, I will put a before and now pic. Well, not a now pic. I'll just do a before pic of where this was the last time I had this out, which would have been during my WIP Parade. But yes, I finished all the snow globes and the little bits in between. And with this project, I'm also using a toile. Because that was the year every designer was using a toile because it had just come out and everyone was like, ooh, new sparkly thread. It was not fun working with this. But I did manage to finish July. And it's a little doggy selling ice creams. Oh, we have a cat intermission. We see Paul. Hello, Zelda. This is my cat, Zelda. For anyone that doesn't know. People can't see anything now. Yeah. Yes, so we have a doggy selling ice creams. And then ice creams down here. And then when I finish my rotation, so every time, if no one redeems any new projects by the time I finish those ones, we're going back to this and we're doing part 8, which will be a koala. I think he's in a swimming pool. but that's my birth month, so that'll be interesting. So I was born in August. And yeah, so that's it. I don't have much more to say about this other than I still don't like Ada. But I don't think I can FFO this. Not FFO, UFO this, because I can remember lots of things whilst working on it, and it has a frog. And if you don't know about me, I mean, you probably saw it when I just switched to my bingo board, but I'm very frog themed here on my Twitch channel. I have a little froggy PNG tuber that normally sits about here, right here, when I stream. I normally have a pond overlay and all that, and you'll find out very quickly why I love frogs. So I worked on this for a total of 7 days, so basically a week, because I was working on the border off stream to get it done quicker so we could focus on the actual part. So yes, so I finished part 7 in March, and that was 1,808 total stitches across all the border and the part. A toile is the bane of my existence, and I never have to see it again in this project. I have it in, I think, 1 or 2 more frosted pumpkins. I have the Chinese Zodiac uses it, and Midnight Way. But after that, I will never see a toile again. Okay, so after I finished working on Animal Almanac, my very first WIP Wednesday piece was Steampunk Fox, and I've just realised I have no stats for that. Aren't I great? I'm a professional. I can give you... Oh no, because I know why, because I only worked on it once. It's fine. It's only come out for 1 week, and again, there'll be a before and after. Well, a before and now, because there is no after. This is the after. So I worked on this one stream, which was actually this past Wednesday. Today, as I'm recording this, it's the 25th of April. You guys won't be seeing this till maybe the first Saturday in May. But I worked on the skirt of the fox. Oh, this is Steampunk Fox by Barbara Anna. Barbara Anna is one of my favourite designers. I love a lot of designers, but Barbara Anna I just love her artwork so much. I have so many of her patterns ready to be started. I have so many of hers finished. She's just something about animals and keys just gets to me. But yes, I'm working on this on a piece of 32 count even weave. This is a fabric flare fabric in the colorway Stone Cloud. And I'm stitching this 2/2. And I'm waiting to finish her because she's in desperate need of a bath. I didn't know this at the time, but it wasn't till I went to go work on it Wednesday that I noticed her face is very discoloured. So the called for, I'm not actually using the called for white. It's supposed to be, I think, 3865, but I didn't have any available at the time, so I'm using B5200 or Blanc. I can't remember which. And her face is very discoloured. It's meant to be pure white and it looks slightly yellow. I mean, it doesn't look too bad, but when I start stitching with the white on other things, it's going to be very noticeable. So this is going to have to wait until it's done to get a bath. And I think what's done it is I used to use this thread conditioner that was like, it wasn't a wax. It was like I don't know how to explain it. But the company that makes them is no longer in business, and I bought a ton of them to use on my silks, and now I'm a bit worried. Even though they're very good, but I think this was one of the projects I was using it on. Maybe it would have been alright if I was only using it on these and not the white. Because I do have beeswax, so I have this. This is what I use now. I have another one of these in the round tin, because that's how they used to come, but they now come like this. And so, it's fine. I'll figure it out. And then, yeah, so on Wednesday's stream, I was stitching this yellow. So these yellow diamonds in the bottom of her skirt. And then I stitched the top part of the green in the skirt here. And then my stream was done. I was having a very slow Wednesday. If you don't know, I suffer with Crohn's disease, and it makes me very brain foggy on the best of days, and on the worst days I just can't function. But I'd already taken 2 weeks off from streaming because of it, so I was like, nope, we're gonna push through. So I did that, and then after stream I just finished this bottom bit of the skirt off, and I did a part of the sheep. And then next Wednesday, this is only going to come out until I reach 1,000 stitches on it total, but the fox is kind of nearly done. I think I've only got to do her tail, and then she herself is done, and then it's the border and a key. So we'll see. I might keep her around till she's done. It depends on how I feel. If I get a bit bored of her, then she'll have to go back away, and then I'll work on the next piece. But that's Steampunk Fox. Oh, because she only had 1 day, she was only out for 1 day, she only had 301 stitches, which put me at 48.54%. I don't remember what she was on before I started, unfortunately, but that's all I have for that. And then one of my newest starts this year, finally, I've had this series since it came out in 2022, which is A Year in the Woods by Cottage Garden Samplings. I've done the fox. I can't show you the fox. I'll insert a picture of what the fox looks like once it's done here. And after I finish the fox, I'm working on this on one piece of fabric as well, because this had the option of working on it on, you could either do all individually on pieces of fabric, all on the one piece, or 3 of them on 4 different pieces. So the way this series is broken down is it's winter, spring, summer, and autumn. So at the top we have the reindeer, then we have the fox, and then over here would be the swans, and then underneath we'd have the jackrabbit, the ferret, and something else. My brain's escaping me right now. It's just escaping. But yeah, so it just carries on. But I'm working on one piece of fabric. This is on a 40 count linen in the colorway, I want to say it's vintage Stormy Night, but it goes by different colours. I'm just double checking my spreadsheet real quick. Stormy Night linen. So Zygarts linen Stormy Night, not vintage. I've seen it been named vintage, which is why I said it, but it's not. But yeah, so I don't have all the colours for this, which is why I've started up here. And I've started up here because I needed to count off the snowflake. So this snowflake here is part of the fox, and this one's part of the reindeer, and that's as wide as the reindeer is going to be. So we have his antlers coming in, and then we have his eye, and that's his nose. And so I'm just going to slowly work my way down until I run out of colours, because again, I don't have all the colours for this. I have most of the DMC. I'm just missing the specialty threads, because this one was the last one to release. So I have the fox kitted up, I had the swans kitted up, and then I have 3, 4, and 5 kitted up. Oh, raccoon. The 5th one's the raccoon. That's how it goes. So it goes reindeer, fox, swans, jackrabbit, ferret, raccoon. Raccoon? Why am I doubting myself now? Hang on. Jackrabbit, raccoon, ferret. Then it's the bear, the bald eagle, the owl, then the woodpecker, then the little brown bat, then the beaver, and then it's done. So I was buying these as they came out. So I started with number 1, which was this, and at the time I actually was going to stitch these on different pieces of fabric. I actually had this one pre-kitted up on a different count and a different fabric, and then last minute I changed my mind, and I'm so glad I did. This is also my favourite 40 count linen colorway. I'm using this for 2 other pieces. One's my long dog sampler, the pointed 5th, and then I'm going to be using it on Finnegan's Moonlight, which is the house one, and it's going to look lovely, and I want to use this fabric more on things. But that's my reindeer. I've only worked on this for 1 day, but I can do stats for the fox just real quick. So I started this in March. The 21st of March 2025, and I finished it on the 20th of April. But I was not working on this one every single day. I actually only worked on it for a total of 13 days. And this one has only had 1 day on it. And this one, I took it from obviously from 0% to 100%, and it was 6,711 total stitches. And this one, right, so this fox gave me issues. So I've actually recharted all these for Pattern Keeper because they come as paper charts, and I don't like using paper charts, so I have software I can rechart it. I do not give them out to anyone. I rechart them for my own benefit to make it more accessible to me. And when I put it into Pattern Keeper, because this is because he uses cottage garden threads. No, not cottage garden. Gentle Arts. I think that's what it is. It's Gentle Arts, but burnt orange and chalk. I accidentally got these two switched. So I had stitched basically this entire section. So all this white on the fox, all the white here in the variegated orange, which is this one here. And I didn't notice until I went to go start. So I had done most of the face. Here, I can actually show you pictures on my... So I had done all this. And then the next day I did this. And I was even saying to one of my friends that it was starting to look a bit like a bug, more than like a wasp, more than a fox. And then I was like, oh, because I looked at my mock-up and I was like, oh no, this is wrong. So I basically had to rip all it out. So that's where it was. And I was starting to work on, so I'd actually stitched this ear as well, this part of the ear, to look like that. And it wasn't, I don't know what made me think to look, but I looked and I was like, oh no. So basically I had to rip all that out in a course of a day and re-stitch it. So yeah, so that's what it looked like after I unpicked it. So it went from this to this. I was very upset. That was over 800 stitches, I think it was, between the two. It was very sad. So I unpicked it and now I'm working on this, and I don't know why my camera's kind of freaking out. Apologies. I do have autofocus on. I don't normally have it on, but it just makes it a bit easier when I show you things because I can show it up close. Oh, and this is 1/2. I do not stitch yet 1/1. I do have plans for something in the future. So my newest piece is the reindeer. I've done 337 stitches in a day on that. In the 1 day I've started, and I've taken it from 0% to 9.44%. So our final new start this month, is one of my many Gecko Rouge kits. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them. And I have done unboxings of these ones on my Twitch. The VODs for this one, for the unboxing of this one, another one should be on here by now. Because I uploaded them near the beginning. And then the most recent 3, I haven't yet because I only unboxed one literally yesterday on stream. But here is Gecko Rouge Frog, artwork by Lorna Lane. This is still in the Q-Snap, well, in the Nerge. So the last 3 you've seen are in Nerges, because I just love Nerge hoops at the moment. They are very nice for certain projects, and I've got it in my Larry clamp, so I'm holding it like this. This is stitched 1/1 on 28 count fabric, full cross. So if I just do a quick zoom down. So I started this on the 3rd of April this year, and I've worked on it for 9 days, and I've taken it from obviously 0% because new start to 7.36%. This has had a total of 6,008 total stitches put into it. And I actually worked on this yesterday during my stream instead of Melody of the Night. I just felt like I wanted to work on this. And later today, actually, after I finish recording this, I'm actually going to be doing another new start. A Gecko Rouge kit again. It's going to be Queen Bee by artwork by Lorna Lane. That's going to be for my mum, because my mum loves bees, I love frogs, and she loves bees. That's it. Other than going over my total stats for the last 3 months and my plans for May. So in February, I had my total stitches for that month was 6,128. In March, I had some really good stitching days. I got over 1,000 stitches on 2 separate occasions. And that brought me up to 14,386 total stitches that month. And in April, as of today, well, as of yesterday, technically, April 24th, I have done 8,637 because I did put 1,000 stitches into my frog sometime this month. It was actually on the 11th. I did 1,017. So that's all my stats for the last 3 months. And so the way it's going to work is the last Friday of every month I'm going to record a Flosstube, and then it's going to go up on the first Saturday of the next month. So we'll go over, when we do that, I'll continue the April stats, and I'll give you the stats from then till the end. So now plans. What are my plans for May? So over on my Twitch channel, which is the same as it is here, Emma Illustrates, I'll also include a link in the description, and I'll also include a link to my Discord, because over there we are doing Monogamy, or Monogamous May, which is where we're going to take a project. So my rules are very arbitrary over there. I'm not going to be very nitpicky. All you need to do is pick a project. It can be a new start, it can be an older WIP, it can be whatever. And it can be any craft, so it could be cross-stitch, knitting, crochet, diamond painting, English paper piecing, whatever you want to do, you can do. And the goal is to make small goals for the month. So it can be 100 stitches a day, an hour of stitching a day, a strand a day, depending. Or, was there another one? Or if it's a diamond painting, a section. So it's just something you think you could achieve every single day for the month of May. Myself, I'm going to be starting a new project. I'm going to be starting Ivory Crow from Margaret Morales. Well, artwork by Margaret Morales, charted by Heaven and Earth Designs. And I'm going to be working on that every single day for the month of May. So starting Thursday, the 1st of May, on my Twitch channel at 3:30 p.m. BST, I'm going to be going live, and I'm going to be doing like a live tutorial as well. Because I've had many people ask, hey Emma, how do you do your diagonal method? How do you set up your pattern keeper? How do you do this? And the aim of that stream is basically to be a tutorial. So if you have any questions, I would suggest you come over there on Thursday. Actually, this is going to go up after that Thursday, but the VOD will be put on here after. So if you have questions after you watch that VOD, you can either leave a comment, and you can also turn into my Twitch stream on Tuesday, Wednesday or Thursday the following week and ask me questions there, and I'll be able to help you as best as I can. I try really hard to explain things in ways that people understand, because sometimes I don't understand what I'm doing, I just do it and it works. So trying to put it into words is very difficult. But I'll also be going, because I use Pattern Keeper, but I don't use Pattern Keeper on an Android device. I actually use BlueStacks, which is an Android emulator. So what I'll do is I'll have a thing, I'll try and remember to get a command set up for Pattern Keeper. I'll just put like PK, and it will give you a link to get BlueStacks and what to do, and I'll show you how to set up a pattern, a full coverage. So if that's something you're interested in, I would say to head over to my Twitch. If like I said, this will have gone up after that. If you need help with that and you want me to show you, I will show you. And I will, because I get it, some people can watch something happen, but they need to be told exactly what to do as they do it. I'm one of those people too. But yeah, that's going to be it from me for my first ever Flosstube. I will be back towards the end of May, and we'll go over everything I've worked on. A majority will be Ivory Crow, but if I've worked on projects between here and there, then I'll show you those too. But thank you guys for watching. please subscribe if you enjoyed this and want to see more, and hit the notification bell if you want to be notified when I upload videos. Or if you're in the Discord, I do have a channel called Rolls. If you click on the Twitch and the YouTube notifier, you'll be notified when I go live on Twitch and when I upload a video. At the moment, I'm still going through a bit of a back catalogue of my previous Twitch VODs, because Twitch has done a new system where you can only have so many hours saved. So this channel is going to be a bit of VODs, a bit of actual things. I'm planning on doing some Stitch with Me's. I don't know if I'll do talking ones for now, and we might just do music ones. And some diamond painting. So yeah, thank you all for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye bye.